The restaurant industry in the United States is a major contributor to the national economy. There are over 1 million restaurants in the United States alone, according to the National Restaurant Association, employing approximately 10% of America's workforce. In 2018, fast food sales actually accounted for $825 billion, being almost 4% of the U.S.'s national gross domestic product. This industry can be divided into two strategic groups: full service and quick service. Quick service, or as commonly called fast food, is where we'll be focused on. Fast food or quick service restaurants are restaurants where customers place an order, pay, and retrieve their food at a service counter. More recently, the fast food industry has split between traditional quick service restaurants like McDonald's and what is termed as fast food casual restaurants such as Panera. While the restaurant industry gross margins are favorable and trending very positively, the net margin is actually significantly smaller and has been trending down since 2016. This is despite moving to self-serve kiosks, using McDonald's as an example, having less employees.
The current political landscape could have major repercussions for the fast food industry. For example, the recent government shutdown caused the FDA to have to streamline operations that could have resulted in poor factory inspections. Additionally, public perception of science with regards to food is mixed. GMOs in particular have been the subject of political debate and legislation. While this hasn't affected the fast food industry yet, they may have to label their products in the near future. The current strong economy is good news for the fast food industry, generally speaking. However, as wages continue to rise, smaller operations may not be able to keep up. Larger chains will end up passing the cost on to consumers, which could result in a loss of overall revenues. An economic slowdown would also have a net negative effect on the fast food industry, and those companies who are ill-prepared may not survive to the next upswing. Millennials will soon overtake baby boomers as the age demographic with the most buying power. This group tends to prefer unique, local, and healthy dining experiences over homogenized chain restaurants. Chains like Chipotle and Panera have positioned themselves as healthier alternatives to McDonald's, while companies like Chick-fil-A and Smashburger have effectively utilized social media to attract younger clientele. Additionally, the popularity of food trucks has soared in recent years due to a successful rebranding of their industry, in addition to the dining habits of millennials. Social media has allowed fast food restaurants to not only interact with their customers more closely, but it has also allowed them to develop unique corporate personalities that help them appeal to their customer bases. Effective utilization of this technology could be a major success factor in the near future. However, not all technology is being embraced as positively. Automated kiosks as a means of countering rising wages are being seen by some as a sign of corporate facelessness and greed. Failure to understand how customers feel about certain new technologies could have a detrimental effect. Global climate change trends could render livestock and crop yields unsustainable. This could affect every part of the fast food industry if certain menu items become too expensive to keep on the menu. Establishing and maintaining an effective supply chain will be a key to success in the coming years. The fast food industry could benefit, however, from adopting more energy-efficient equipment and practices for their day-to-day operations. This would also likely give them a more positive customer perception by being socially aware. While regulations regarding food storage and prevention of foodborne illness may shift over time, there are currently no major pieces of legislation that would affect the fast food industry in particular. However, as legislation regarding employer-provided healthcare continues to be amended, this could have a disproportionate effect on fast food workers who generally have less money to spend on health insurance.
In 2018, the U.S. restaurant industry saw sales of about $825 billion, accounting for 4% of the nation's GDP. The restaurant industry makes up about 10% of the U.S. workforce. From 2012 to 2018, annual gross sales has increased while margins have decreased, partially from franchise models.
Reasons for selecting. The reason McDonald's was chosen by us is because they are the primary driving force behind the modernization of the fast food industry across the world, as well as being the fast food industry leader. We recognize the importance of the connection to customers through social media for any business and understand that the perception of the public can make or break any company in a very short time. A few bad reviews or bad publicity can stain a restaurant's reputation for quite a while. Another reason for selecting McDonald's is because they are not only able to produce the data required for social media adoption faster than their competitors, but implement it faster as well in a far broader market. Despite this, though, McDonald's does not have much of a social media footprint or customer outreach, which can put them behind many of their competitors or even increase the threat of new entrants. We believe that McDonald's can greatly increase their sales, increase customer satisfaction, and fight their unhealthy stigma by doing this, and be open to the chance to do so as well, which makes them a great partner for our initiative.
McDonald's is the leading fast food company in the industry today. The first McDonald's was opened in 1940 by the McDonald brothers. They redefined the dining experience by introducing their speedy service, which allowed quick preparation of food and self-service ordering. While the McDonald brothers brought efficiency to the restaurant, it was an early franchise partner, Ray Kroc, who made McDonald's what it is today. His focus on marketing and brand recognition led to global success with more than 37,000 McDonald's restaurants around the world. Most people today are familiar with McDonald's characters such as Ronald McDonald, the symbolic golden arches, and catchy slogans like "I'm loving it." This marketing, combined with great tasting low-cost food, keeps McDonald's at the top of the quick service industry.
The primary activities in McDonald's value chain begin with their inbound logistics. Their supply chain is composed of strategic partnerships with 3PLs who manage their freight from the suppliers to their distribution centers and then on to the individual stores. Everything shipped within their supply chain is traceable and visible to the corporate office, store managers, and suppliers. McDonald's operations is supported through the use of a corporate manual which details every step of the operation. The customer owns all outbound logistics for in-store and drive-through purchases. If a customer opts to order McDonald's online, they can have their food delivered through Uber Eats for a small fee. The corporation spends over $1.4 billion annually on advertising through various forms of media. From 2012 to 2017, their sales and revenue declined, so they implemented sales growth strategies in 2018, such as all-day breakfast, delivery, and a $1, $2, and $3 value menu in the hopes it would drive growth. McDonald's services focus on convenience. Additionally, they aim for high value, keeping their costs low, and streamlining their operations for efficiency. As part of their value chain support activities, McDonald's infrastructure includes 3 different models: conventional franchises, developmental licenses, and foreign affiliate markets. Their human resources policies and programs span education, hiring programs, and diversity and inclusion. Over the next 2 to 3 years, they are looking at implementing new technological features, such as an advanced ordering system with facial recognition and an operating model with the complete absence of McDonald's employee interaction. Their procurement model is driven through developing and maintaining excellent relationships with their suppliers and through key partnerships with their 3PLs. They also have contingency plans in place to minimize downtime during disasters.
Key partners include franchise owners, suppliers, logistics firms, and delivery services. Franchise owners go through a rigorous selection process based on net worth, restaurant, and customer service experience. Farms from over 20 states are sourced to provide fresh beef. Logistics firm Martin Brower handles transportation of product for over half of McDonald's worldwide, and Uber Eats are displayed on their webpage as their delivery service of choice. Key activities include food and beverage service as the principal revenue driver, efficient supply chain management to keep costs low, and effective marketing as a way of obtaining and maintaining relationships with their customers. Key resources for McDonald's include their brand, employees, and real estate assets. The Golden Arches is one of the most recognizable logos in the world and gives McDonald's high bargaining power. Employees are provided numerous development opportunities through scholarships and training programs, and real estate assets allow McDonald's to collect rental fees from franchise partners. McDonald's offers value to their customers through consistent, convenient, and affordable offerings throughout all of their stores, as well as a commitment to giving back to local communities through charities such as the Ronald McDonald House. Customer relationships are largely handled through face-to-face interactions in the store, customer service phone calls, and online correspondence. Additionally, automated kiosks are now being used in some stores for customers who choose them, and their mobile app allows customers to order online. McDonald's primary channels are their freestanding stores, as well as satellite stores in places like food courts and college campuses. Additionally, McDonald's food is available through some delivery services, such as Uber Eats. There are several customer segments over different demographics. Lower and middle income families enjoy the affordability of McDonald's, while younger married couples and families with children over 6 appreciate the convenience. Groups like working professionals who want both affordability and convenience are frequently targeted as well. Principal costs come in the form of food and paper, labor, and occupancy. Food and paper as a percentage have remained relatively steady in recent years. However, labor costs have increased in the same time period. Occupancy costs have decreased during this time period as McDonald's has sold more of their corporate restaurants to franchise partners. Sales from corporate-owned restaurants and franchising fees make up the two chief revenue streams for McDonald's. In 2017, company store revenues produced $12.7 billion in sales, while franchising fees produced an additional $10.1 billion. However, the franchising fees accounted for 3 times the profit of the company's stores at $7.6 billion to $2.6 billion.
McDonald's strengths are visible by their placement in the market, as they are the second largest restaurant chain in the world. Well-established and robust supply chains allow them to strengthen their position as well. A recognizable brand and power over their suppliers also give them strength. McDonald's weaknesses include their low consumer switching costs, their high threat of new entrants, and their image perception of the healthfulness of their food. McDonald's can seek opportunities in social media feeds to gain better understandings of their customers, leverage online orders and food delivery platforms, and provide healthier food options and diet-specific menus to their customers. McDonald's threats include the high amount of industry rivalry, food delivery platforms, and boxed food subscription models, environmental factors, and social perspectives.
An analysis of Porter's 5 forces of the fast food industry shows competitive rivalry is a strong force. Local and global restaurants compete through advertising, offering specials, and franchise opportunities. Threat of new entrants is a moderate force. It's a weak force on a global scale due to startup costs, and a stronger force on a local scale because startup costs are not as high. Bargaining power of suppliers is a weak force. There's a large number of suppliers, and suppliers want to do business with fast food restaurants. Bargaining power of buyers is also a strong force. Customers can easily switch to a different restaurant at no cost, and there's also low customer loyalty. Threat of substitutes is also a strong force. Restaurants offering different types of food and more healthier options are available. Our social media analytics platform will allow McDonald's to collect data from social media sources such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Reddit. Each of these sources will have a team of data specialists who will compile the data and then turn it over to the machine learning team for processing. The goal is to use that data to develop a better understanding of our customers, providing insights into their wants and allowing quicker responses to their concerns. The system would also provide more efficient predictions of market trends, as well as the ability to intercept customers posting complaints about our competitors. As an alternative, we considered traditional analytics programs using historical data for predictive analysis and finding hidden relationships. Ultimately, we decided on social media data. It allowed for the same analysis, but we would have faster access to the data, and it would be in real time instead of historical. Using real-time data will allow for more accurate predictions of market trends and give us the ability to address our customers on an individual basis through our mobile app.
McDonald's value chain capitalizes on their world-class supply chain. Their inbound logistics are composed of strategic partnerships with 3PLs who manage their freight from their suppliers to the distribution centers and then onto the individual stores. McDonald's operations are governed through the use of detailed policies and procedures. The customer owns all outbound logistics for in-store and drive-through purchases. The company spends over $1.4 billion annually on advertising through various forms of media. McDonald's services focus on convenience and high value. Their infrastructure is based on various forms of franchises, and their human resources programs span education, hiring programs, and diversity and inclusion. Their procurement model is driven through developing and maintaining excellent relationships with their suppliers and through key partnerships with their 3PLs. McDonald's has the opportunity to significantly transform their business by strategically analyzing and responding to social media data.
Financial value will be increased through targeted marketing. Responding proactively to new trends in food will provide better product value to customers, and McDonald's will be able to respond to customer communication quicker and more efficiently than before. Revenues will be increased by targeting new customers, regaining lost customers, and converting casual customers to committed diners. McDonald's costs will be reduced through research and development times, as well as concentrated marketing through fewer channels using less materials. Intangible value will be increased by appearing as a more modern company. While McDonald's is by far the leader in the fast food market, a well-organized and systematic social media analytics platform could give them a first-mover advantage, allowing them to leverage the data they collect into an increased market share.
The implementation of our project will be done in 8 phases being performed for 33 weeks. Phase 1 will be a 2-week timeline to determine what data needs to be collected and from where. Phase 2 will be a 2-week timeline to build a methodology to collect the data. Phase 3 will be a 5-week timeline to collect and eliminate the data by geographical region. Phase 4 will be a 2-week timeline to separate the data by opinion and feedback type. Phase 5 will be a 4-week timeline to implement the McDonald's social media outreach via testbed. Phase 6 will be a 4-week timeline to close out by determining the effectiveness of the social media outreach. Phase 7 will be a 4-week timeline for implementation strategy formulation. Phase 8 will be a 10-week timeline for process implementation across the U.S. Currently, McDonald's does not have a customer feedback capability. This capability is limited in scope with how McDonald's actually uses it. One issue McDonald's faces in responding to customers is the sheer number of customer inputs. This means that the interactions must be handled by more local levels, which means customer feedback handled at the restaurant level. This extra responsibility will require local managers to receive training in how to actually respond. Local managers will be for customer comments on satisfaction, not trend analysis from other comments. Data analytics to study trend analysis on customer comments on subject types such as foods will be the responsibility of regional managers. Again, the managers will require training on how to respond to the data. The data analytics will be performed by McDonald's at corporate level teams, which will then distribute the data findings to the regional managers for follow-up action. While change management for altering current employee behavior to support these functions is not a priority as it is a new functionality, the training to use the data and respond is where the focus will be required. For this purpose, training camps will be conducted for local managers on how to professionally respond to customer feedback while maintaining McDonald's social media guidelines.
Success will be measured using a balanced scorecard. The scorecard will include metrics that will help to measure the success of the impact of social media data analytics. Defining success measures of social media initiatives is twofold. Increase McDonald's social media presence to drive customer growth, and acquire and analyze data from social media platforms to increase overall sales. Customer growth will be measured as a percentage of the total available market, while sales growth will be measured by tracking the total worldwide sales